Okay. So I have been in the healing arts field for almost 30 years. I am a career yoga teacher and a massage therapist, and I do other things with nutrition and just healing work with the emotional body and lots of different things just because I've been in this field for so long. And so at Yoga in the Hood, which I guess I should say a little bit about the name because sometimes the word hood throws people off. I did look that up in the Urban Dictionary about what it said, and I was like, oh, but I live in Hidden Springs, and I was doing yoga in my bonus room when I first moved here 10 years ago from California, because I just couldn't, I couldn't find a place yet in Boise where I wanted to, I guess, call my yoga home. And so we refer to being in the hood in Hidden Springs because we're kind of out there a little bit, and we drive over the hill. We say, how many times we had to drive over the hill to get somewhere. And so the name kind of just stuck as, oh, yoga in the hood. And then when I was tapped on the shoulder by my spirit energy that says, go down to, get out of being hidden in Hidden Springs, and you need to get back out in the world again and go into the north end. And so I kept the name Yoga in the Hood because I was moving into the north end, and because I had people say, no, you can't change the name. We love it. And so it just emerged, and we have a really cute logo, which I'll pass out my card to you to show. What I like to say about Yoga in the Hood is that it's kind of an adult yoga studio, simply because I've been doing it for so long. I don't totally love the way it's morphed in the last 10 years, the yoga. There's a lot of yoga, I think, that could be serving a lot more people. And so, my yoga is definitely not a one-size-fits-all. I love to individuate for each person and to, understand their body and what's good for them. And that it is a really warm and welcoming environment. And we're not there to compete. We're not there to look cool in, your latest, greatest yoga tights, yoga pants. And by the way, that is a key word in Facebook when you do an ad at yoga pants. I said, put it in there. Since everybody's wearing yoga pants these days. So,
just on weekends.
Okay, now I gotta get that out of my head. Thanks, Brian.
That's a bad swing thought, isn't it?
So we do have, like I said, massage there and yoga, and my husband and I took the building over. We purchased actually the building, which I never thought I would do. That was, a monumental thing, and we got that in July of 2014. Nothing had been done to the building in 30 years, and so we gutted out the inside of it and the underneath in the basement, which was just a pile of old sinks, and it was a doctor's office. I don't know if anybody's been here that long enough that they even remember that it was a medical office before. It was a hair salon, and so it was a couple of, different things, and it was like they kept just sort of putting up, they would just build over the top of what was there. So we have new electrical, new plumbing, new HVAC, and the whole thing is just really beautiful. And that was quite an experience too, just to be really hands-on in that process of tearing it down. Didn't do so much of the building because we're better at demo than we are at plumbing. So anyway, I think that the best thing to do is to do some breathing, because that's what I do, is to do some breathing and just some gentle, stretching in the morning, just to set the tone for your day. So I would invite you to maybe pull your chair back from the table so that you have a little bit of space, and to sit more forward in the chair so you're more at the edge, so it lets your spine be freed up. And you can close your eyes if you like, or you can just let the eyes go soft. You can stare at me if you want to. And so just let yourself tune into your breath. So you just feel the breath. Come in and go out. And as you feel the breath come in and go out, just increase it a little bit. Just pull it in a little bit more, that you're being an active participant in what you're doing with your breath. And then we're going to just take the breath count. So it's going to just add a component, a counting component to us, just to hone it in. So breathe in for a count of 4. And then exhale for a count of 4. We're going to take you can let your eyes come open now. We're just going to breathe in and just reach your arms just overhead.
Don't hurt yourself.
Just breathe in now for a count of 4 and reach through the fingers. Feel perhaps the spreading of your ribs, that the breath comes down into the lung tissue. Stretching open your diaphragm. But overall increasing circulation through the body. So important as the body ages to keep things, that synovial fluid, moving around. And then lower the arms down. Then we're going to take the hands and just put them on the back side of, like I'm using the back seat of the chair. You're going to just draw the shoulder blades back so that the chest opens, and you can let your eyes gaze up towards the ceiling, and then breathe in. And think about your heart having a helium balloon attached right onto the center of that chest bone. And so as you inhale, you have a slight feeling of your chest bone or your sternum lifting up towards the ceiling. So this is technically a back bend. This is just a very simple back bend, which are very rejuvenating and energizing. And then take your breath in for 4. And out for 4. And then with your next inhale, just let your spine come upright again. And we're going to fold forward, so if you're still too close, you can scoot back, or you can just simply let your forearms come down on top of your thighs. You want to find the position that is the most comfortable for your body. Then you can let your upper body come all the way over your thighs, and if your hands touch the floor, great. And if they don't, you can put them up on the tops of your shoes, or you can wrap your hands around your elbows. And this is a great one because forward bendings are very cooling to the central nervous system. So if there's anxiety, this is a great one to do. Depression is great for the when you're taking the heart back, as we just did before. And now just let yourself stay and relax and feel the muscles relaxing. So taking breath in for a count of 4. And out for 4. And letting yourself be tuned in to what you notice. And if you notice tension, it's always good to be present to it, to breathe into it like you're going to take a bite out of it. And your exhale to let it go. And then with your inhale, come up slowly so that that blood comes right back down. So we just did an inversion. Anytime that you bring your head below your heart and anything, that's an inversion, and those are cooling to the nervous system. And then a spinal twist is also going to be very energizing as well. So there's a couple ways. You can scoot back a little bit more in your chair. You can hook your arm over the back of the chair. But since we have the chair, it's nice and open, you can also turn completely to the side of the chair and then let your hands just grab a hold of the back side of the chair. And then holding to a place that's comfortable, and then just take the awareness in again to your breath so that you feel your inhale for 4 and your exhale for 4. Notice the spots in your body that appear to you. Breathe into what you notice and see if you can dissipate or soften anything that feels a little bit tighter. And with your exhale, let go, and then you can twist all the way over to the other side of the chair. If that's what you did on the other side, it's always good to repeat the same to the other side for the most part. There are some exceptions to the rule, like scoliosis. And then feel your breath come in for 4. You're adding to your breath. Spinal twists are going to squeeze and they're going to wring out all of your organs. So they're a good massage. They're stimulating to the organs in the body as well as all the nerves that come out and innervate through your whole spinal column. So it gives you like a massage, wringing action. And with the exhale, you can come back to the center. We'll do just a little bit more with the shoulders and the neck, since most of us carry a fair amount of tension up in the shoulders. With the inhale, just let the shoulders roll up and back. Just keep the breath flowing. And then go in the other direction. We'll let the arms hang. You got your little skirt on the chair, but I think you can tuck your hand, if it's possible, to just hook your right hand or your left underneath the chair lightly, and then let your left earlobe or your opposite earlobe melt over towards the shoulder so that you can feel the stretch in the neck. Keep the chest lifted so you're not going to collapse down, but that it's lifted tall. And then just, again, feel your breath. You can close your eyes if you like. You can stay soft. And then you can try unhooking the hand and just let that arm just drape out to the side, and this will bring energy down. Perhaps you might feel it even through the front of the arm, over through the shoulder cap, and all the way down, and then breathe into it consciously. That you're directing your awareness to those parts that you feel. And then with the exhale, let your chin just roll down towards your chest bone, feeling the stretch through the back side of the neck. And then with with the in-breath, let your head come up right in the center, and we'll repeat it over on the other side. So if you grabbed the chair on the one side, grab it on the other, and allow the earlobe to melt towards the shoulder in the opposite direction that you're holding the chair. And just breathing in for that count of 4. Let it go. And then let the hand go and take the arm out to the side and just notice the different angle and how it affects the tissue, the fascia, your muscles differently. And then with exhale, let your chin roll down towards your chest. Let the arm relax. Feel the stretch again for the back of the neck. Perhaps it feels different this time. And then with your inhale, you can let the head come back. Anybody feel different? I do. I feel more calm now.
Way to harsh my
Yeah.
mellow, man.
It only takes a very little bit, you know, to shift your energy and to make you feel just more refreshed or more calm. So you can do, the main thing I really, you know, I was like thinking, Jane, should I have like a little thing they can do with their desk? You just remember to move your body and to just stretch things open and to take things through a range of motion. That's going to be helpful a lot, because the most thing that I see in an aging body is stiffening up, like we start getting shrink wrapped. And to keep things moving is you have to move your body. And so, you know, we all have phones with great little ringtones. You can have your crickets come on every 30 minutes to remind you to, you know, just get up, to move, and to breathe. And of course, if you need more motivation than that, you can come on down to yoga.
I go at lunch a lot, and it really helps my focus, especially toward the end of the week. Like if I don't go to yoga, by Thursday and Friday, I'm just like scattered and stressed, and I feel overwhelmed. But when I go to yoga, because Shannon's really worked with me on just chilling out and being still and calm for like 1 hour and not thinking about what I have to do next. So
And that's really true about
Yeah.
Jane, because she really had to move a lot in her practice. It was hard for her to still the mind.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing what you've done.
yeah, it feels way better too. So
So if you have any questions, I would love to answer any questions or myths or whatever about yoga.
Shannon, do you do flow type yoga, or is it more the take a pose and hold it for?
I do a combination. I guess to answer your question, and it depends on who's in front of me, because I want to teach to the person who's in front of me. So I try to do levels at the studio that you like progress, and and so to me, advanced yoga is not about how fancy of a pose you can do at all. It is about your integration. It's more about your relationship to your body and what you know. So it's your education through that, and then that the transmission for me as the instructor comes much, much faster. So I would say in my more advanced groups, people that have been doing it for a little bit, that it tends to be a slow flow. And so I focus a lot on the breath, because the breath leads you inside to your personal authority. It slows your mind down, and you're going to build a lot more what I call chi or energy. So you're going to build a lot of stamina when you hold in a pose and you take 4 or 5 very long breaths, because you're directing yourself inside. You're gonna build a ton of strength that way, which is incredibly important. You're getting the flexibility element of it as well. And then, of course, balance too is also gonna be a component of that. And so I like to offer a variety of classes, and so I'm gonna be doing some, slower classes, because it's intimidating, and so I'm extrapolating on your question, but it's intimidating a lot of times for people to come into a yoga studio, because they're so afraid that they're not going to be able to do it. And that is my work here, is to try to diminish that and really get the least likely. Who's the least likely to walk into a yoga studio? You are my perfect candidate. That I can make you feel comfortable, that I can help you with some stretches, and that you feel better in your life, and at the end of the day, to help you really relieve stress. Because I'm not it's an exercise, of course, but it's also for your wellness of your mind, and that goes a long way with the whole, how we're mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally all connected into, supporting those. So did that answer your question for you? And so on my schedule, level 2 is definitely, a deepened integration. Those are women that have been with me. I say women because that's the people that bridged me and that I've been spending the most amount of time with. But anything that says mixed level, that's also a little bit generic, because all of us at the studio are really trained to just work with who's in front of us. And of course there's different levels, but you work at your own pace. If you need to relax, you can. The yoga, I would say, and Jane, you can also put into this too, it's strong at my studio. So, because I know people feel like they like to feel something, that they're getting something out of yoga. So it's strong, but it's as strong as you make it. It's as strong as you want. And of course, the tempo of the instructor, you'll feel that as well, so mixed level at lunch definitely is gonna be a generic term that I use, that it's, all people are welcome. And then there's a level 1 that I, try to keep that at a beginning thing. It happens when you get these groups in, and then people keep progressing. And so I'm going to create some more classes after the first of the year, like breathe, stretch, relax, just more slow, more relaxed. Thank you for your
And
question.
this is for the club, so.
Do you know any studios in town that do kids-specific yoga?
I used to, and I just didn't get enough kids. And my son rebelled because I did. I'm like, you're gonna do yoga? And so I did. He was like the worst. I was like, I cannot teach yoga to you. So yeah, he doesn't want to do it. Both my husband and myself teach, but I do kids camps in the summertime. Do you have boys or girls? Girls. Yeah. And that's who it is. Are they teen or are they younger?
One of them's 12, one of them's 8, and the 12-year-old takes yoga in school.
Oh, great.
But because the teacher isn't a yoga instructor, it's a PE teacher, she hates it. So I took her to one of mine in my yoga studio, and she was really intimidated by it because it was nothing like what they taught her. So
Right.
Yeah.
she's just kind of like, I don't like yoga, but it's so good for her.
Right.
And the
Well,
eight-year-old wants to do it.
well, let's exchange information, because I did a 4-week series just in October with a teen girls group. And so that would be perfect for her, because that's really the age group that's most drawn to the yoga right now as far as kids go. I mean, I think all kids should do it, because our world is changing so much that, I think boys, it's just, still, it's like kind of it's interesting, because in the East, in India, it's like it's more male dominated. The yoga is, it's like competitive and all these things, like I guess who can twist. I mean, many of the gurus, that have come through on the Indian side are male, but here in our Western world is largely female. But men need yoga so much. Men, I need you to come in. It would be so great. Men really do need yoga, and they would benefit from it so much. And so, slower class. My husband teaches. So let's.
The man right next to meet women is like a resource.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a target-rich environment.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
There's usually one clean women that are very acceptable.
I
And
just
they're all in
run
yoga
bars with
pants.
puppies.
Oh, there's
Your
al-
daughter
there's
could
more
use
ways.
this, might help her flexibility, Jan.
Yeah,
God.
that's what
Oh
she
my
needs.
God.
More flexibility.
Yeah, I'm sure from the conversation about dudes, that's what a father
But
wants to
aren't you
hear.
seeing a lot more men?
I am,
Go to
yes,
yoga.
a lot more men, and we've just recently had some more men come in, of course, because we have a beautiful, eligible, single, yoga teacher. So I noticed that all the men are coming to her class, and I'm like, yes!
Are they all going to Brittany's
great."
class?
What's that?
Brittany's class?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's recruiting at the bar too. She's doing the puppy and me. Come to class.
That's right, that's right.
So I guess I am curious, when you're talking about kids and how great it is for them, especially in this digital age where everything is so fast paced, do you see that is there any increase from teachers or anyone reaching out about incorporating yoga in schools or with that age group?
I did do, and it's always bits and pieces. That's a problem. Kids' lives are so busy. They're just doing way too much, in my opinion. Just so many things. Like we have them at such a young age, like already like having so much stress in their life. And it's like, I didn't, probably a lot of you guys here in the room, you didn't, you weren't in, soccer when you were, 4, and then you stayed in like multiple sports. I didn't do sports until I was in high school, and that it was available. And then, I did swimming and, that kind of stuff. I think I did synchronized swimming before that. But so, yeah, kids definitely need that, and my son is at Sage International, and I was called in, so I try to always put myself out there as a resource, for, working with kids. And I did do a training specific. It's called Yoga Ed. It's copyrighted as far as their method. And so I did like 100-hour training just specific for kids. And so there's lots of games and there's all kinds of mindfulness exercises and things, that I do. So I tried to make it, with my son as fun as possible, and it was like, some of the things I did were really cool, and I think the kids, really enjoyed it. So we'll see. I do have a teen girls. I'm supposed to be, kind of bringing that around again after the first of the year for a series, but I think that it's extremely important with as much screens and technology as they're on. Yeah, all of us, because we've really all become, think about it, we were all farmers before, and we were moving, and, we had to make our own food, and we had to, grow our own food and do so much, and lifestyle has become so sedentary, and so yoga's really great for that.
Don't a lot of football teams use yoga now?
Yes.
I think PSU football
Yes.
team, they have yoga.
Another area that you don't think about is in cancer treatment.
Yes.
I've heard that I have some experience with, my late husband was doing radiation, and they were doing a clinical trial of doing yoga before his radiation. And they did a clinical trial to see if it increased the effectiveness of the radiation by calming the body and stuff. It was really pretty fascinating, actually, and got some great pictures of Lynn doing the bird pose to put on Facebook. But so it was fun, but it was an area that you don't think about where yoga can be.
Yes.
And I don't know if that in
We
this
have
community,
a
if there's
restorative class specifically for more, that's more like using bolsters and props,
yep.
for mindfulness and relaxation. Yeah, because some people, really need that. That's why yoga is not a one-size-fits-all.
Right.
And you have a yoga for skiers and snowboarders coming up, right?
Yep, I have a ski conditioning yoga class for skiers. So strength and flexibility. Honestly, the yoga, and it can be very specific too, and it is. There's so many things, just standing, in the mountain pose, there's a lot of health benefits to just standing.
Well, I will say 4, maybe 5 years ago, because I have to sit a lot at work, I started having problems with not my back, but my legs, and started doing yoga. And it was amazing how I don't have those problems anymore because I have focused a lot more on relaxation, flexibility, and all that. So I have actually touted yoga to a lot of people who say, oh my gosh, I'm having this problem or that, and I just say, you know what, give it a month and see the difference.
Yes, so true. That's great. Love to hear those stories of testimonial, how it's worked. Yeah. Anybody else have a testimonial to yoga?
I've noticed it with Jane.
Really? Am I nicer?
You have always been nice, Jane.
Less stressed out.
It made a difference for me because when you started, I'm thinking, I don't have time for this. Seriously, I'm here for an hour anyway. I mean, I know what the time frame is, but in reality, I've been gone from work, so I have files, and even driving in, my mind was like, okay, thinking of the order in which I needed to get everything done today, and so it was kind of like, okay, I'll come to Rotary, get that done, and get going. But honestly, it was like, well, you're here, Joy. It did sick, just like. But you guys got me. I'm like,
Yes, even just those few minutes that you did for yourself, that's so great. And if you just did them, that to-do list, because oftentimes it's just the mind, and that's what I love, that the yoga of the mind, which is the Raja yoga, it's the kingly yoga, that we have a perception and an idea like, oh, I gotta da-da-da-da-da-da, and then when we actually slow down, and I know that because I'm perfectly human and I do that too, and that you slow down and you realize, oh, okay, and then it just like happens and it gets done, and I was like so stressed out, I was changing emails over, like from 20 years, I'm like, oh, and then I was trying to get it done, and then lo and behold, I finally got down to the bottom of the email list, and I was like, that's it? Okay, I guess I had this, hallucination that I would be doing it for weeks, and it was really like, a couple of days. But, yeah.
I think there's just a stigma for men that it's a women's sport.
Yes.
And I work for Idaho Power, and we have a program called Move Safe. And so every morning, you've got linemen, you've got designers, you've got office people, and they'll break up into groups. And at 8:30, a bunch of them will go meet and do exercises, just stretching exercises. And I'll tell you, it's kind of like what you're saying, Joy. It just makes you feel so much better. And I notice a big difference, and I kind of miss it if I don't make that little group. And the other thing that's kind of nice about it is the camaraderie it makes, because you get to meet other people in your office area that you wouldn't normally meet, because there's a lot of bantering going on, and it really has made a big difference. And so it's kind of relabeled stretching. So now it's more masculine, But a lot of guys, I think there is a big stigma that guys can't go do yoga.
Would a men's only class be helpful? Like,
That
would
would
that
be
be something that's attractive
I went
versus?
to yoga class one time, kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Kicked my ass. And then I was going, oh, I'd go back to lifting weights,
But,
do something easy.
but that
Yeah.
in combination with lifting weights is fantastic.
I know,
Yeah.
but you're right. But I was like, one guy had 20 women,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
was not on the prowl. So it was kind of like,
No, but Jane, I don't think that would help an all men's class. But
Yeah.
But like I've done yoga at Axiom, and if you go in there and if there's 4 or 5 other guys in there, you feel a little more secure. But if you're the only
Right.
guy in there, you walk out and turn your man card in. And
it's true.
no, it
Yeah.
is very beneficial.
Go with a
Yeah.
friend. Go with a friend.
Well, and that's what I did. A friend of mine, his wife taught Pilates, and so I'd go with him, and it's amazing. It's very, very helpful.
It is. And it's great to hear that it's breaking down and that it is changing, and I just think, as we just keep moving, and who knows, like how the millennials and whatnot, or just, how they're gonna bring it in and how it'll keep changing. So I have a present for you. I have a free class pass, which for each of you, would love to have you come down to the studio. So I don't know, should I leave these just on the table, or how should we?
You can just pass them down, yeah.
Just pass them around. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
one is our schedule. You're like the chief over here, like, oh yeah, the chief.
The chief.
She's the chief.
Commander in chief.
El Presidente.
Chief of the squad.
Now, when does this one gal give her class?
I'll be sure to mention that to Bridget.
Wednesday night at 5:45,
Hello,
and
Bridget.
Tuesday nights at 6:30.
Okay, guys, what are we doing next? Beers afterwards?
Yeah.
That's right.
You can go to, is it Cloud9 that's right there?
Yeah.
Cloud9 Brewery that's right across the street?
Yes, Cloud9.
Yeah.
And actually Brittany was trying to put together, I said, you need to do like a yoga social. I used to do those, you know, when I was a little bit younger and we would get together, which I should still do them. I don't know why I'm not, but I think it's because I'm, you know, still, I run the business, but, to get together after, you know, class, it does, like you were saying, it builds community. And that's what also, that I feel like that Yoga in the Hood is a place to build community, because we need, and you guys have a wonderful connection here, so you have a lot of community. And for me, my connection, you know, over at Yoga in the Hood is also about building community, but we're so like on our phones and we've become so disconnected. It's like you come and you can really connect with real people instead of just your screen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I too feel relaxed.